Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So also on the card we got Australia's own Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. And in my opinion, I don't want to jump too much to circumstances, but I know this is going to be a fireworks fight, man.
really cool
Honestly,
fight.
I do. But here's the thing I don't want to happen, because I know it's going to be 3 rounds. I I don't want it to be like the first round they go absolute swinging, dropping bombs on each other, and then two the pace starts to die around, and then third round is like two drowning children like flailing at each other. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I want. Yeah. So that's a little bit of a weird analogy, but that's my take. Uh, just when you watch guys who are like heavyweights because they don't really have the biggest gas tanks, and then they just start doing swinging, and it's no technique behind it. It's all power. They're all just trying to put them away. That's usually what happens. But my money is on Tai Tuivasa. I feel like Greg Hardy was he was one of those fighters who he had a little bit of he had a little bit of skill from and a lot of athletic ability, but you could be the best athlete, or you can have an amazing gas tank, or you can have insane strength. It all comes down to technique, and that takes years and years and years to nail down and to perfect, and not just one discipline, but multiple disciplines. And I felt like Greg Hardy was something that sounded good at the time because he's a former NFL player, but I don't feel like his times. I feel like potentially if he loses this one, he could get cut. I honestly do. That's my take. Because if I was just to pull up his record,
I mean, he's on a one fight losing streak. It's not hugely dramatic. Prior to that, he had two wins against, I think it was Jorgen De Castro, and there was another Maurice Green coming off, who was off the Ultimate Fighter.
yeah, and he lost to Marcin Tybura.
Yeah, and Marcin Tybura is a ranked opponent. We saw him fight quite recently in the last 2 weeks. Marcin Tybura being in the top 10 of the heavyweight division. It looked like you know, Greg Hardy had been given opponents that were not on the same caliber as Marcin Tybura, and I think once he was kind of, it was a big jump in the level of opponent, and when he fought Marcin Tybura, it was very clear the difference in skill. Now that he's fighting Tai, who is also unranked, it's a little bit close in terms of relative skill level, but I think Tai will blow him out of the water. Tai's got incredible power. He's very, very talented on the feet. And he's been doing a lot of work at AKA, putting in the work against, wrestlers and things like that, improving his wrestling defense. It's that kind of, for proper high level wrestling pedigree, they've got to do it from a really young age, because they're the only kids that really do. They're the only people that are really practicing and learning wrestling are kids. So for you to learn that, in your late 20s, it's going to take a lot longer to learn that kind of stuff and be truly proficient in it. But there's no better place to learn it than AKA. So I think he's doing the right things to fill holes in his game. I mean, last fight, if he was to lose that fight, he was most likely going to be cut, which is a shame because he's incredibly talented. Now that he's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Stefan Struve. And what was his other opponent? There was another opponent that he beat.
Harry Hansacker.
Oh yes, that fight as well. So when
The Bronson and Holland main card.
oh yes, so when he fought Struve, that was essentially the make or break fight. And then when he beat Struve and he beat Harry Hansacker, also in the first round.
Knockouts in the first round.
Yeah. So
That makes him deadly in the first round. But also, when you get a first round knockout, that's like the best way to go. I mean, that's what makes your stock soar in the company.
mhm.
So that's what I think. I feel like when that first round comes out, I reckon him and Greg Hardy are just going to go balls to the fucking wall,
Mhm.
and I actually think they're going to start swinging, for the fences. So that's what makes me excited. When it comes to Tai versus Gray, I kind of feel like Tai is going to get this one.
Yeah.
I just do. I just feel like since his loss to what was his name? I always butcher his first name. Oh god, hold on. So
he had Junior Dos Santos as well that Tai lost to as well. So he's been given very high level opponents.
yeah, and he's lost to Sergey Spivak as well. So since then, he's come a really long way, and he's definitely improved his game. And the best way to show you improve is like just by putting away opponents. So I feel like Tai is going to win this one for mainly 3 reasons. I believe he's going to have a slightly better gas tank. He's got much more experience, and he's high level of experience as well, and just much more time as well in practicing martial arts as a whole, really. And then to add it further on to he's Australian. Obviously, we've got to get behind the Aussies. So
Of course. Yeah, I'm expecting Tai to. I mean, he could grapple with Greg and put him down on his ass, but I'm expecting a stand-up fight here. Greg, coming from his athletic background, he's definitely gifted physically, right? But the technique is not quite there, and the cardio is not there either. I know he does have asthma and things like that. However, I mean, he's obviously athletically gifted, and that there's some ways that you can get around these issues when you're an athlete. I think Tai has the cardio. He can outpace him, and he has the power. I think he's just a more well-rounded athlete than Greg. I think Greg Hardy's came to the sport a little bit too late, since he had a profession before this. And to hang with the big dogs, I don't think he's going to beat Tai. I think Tai is going to beat Greg, and I think, and this might be a little bit very confident of me, but I think he'll win by first round KO. I think Hardy will be quite aggressive in this fight, and I think he'll walk into a few shots, and Tai will be waiting for him. If they slug it out, I think Tai's chin will hold up perfectly fine, and Tai will put him on his ass, and hopefully he'll do a shoey afterwards. So, and the crowd will love that. And the crowd will.
Well, I mean, they let him do it backstage. They didn't let him do it in the octagon, so I wouldn't mind. He's definitely become something a bit of a character after doing that, so that's for sure.
What's your pick?
Oh, Tai Tuivasa. I also agree. I agree with you. First round knockout.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is with these guys, they don't want to go 3 rounds. They want to put him away as quickly as possible, and it just takes one punch to get him caught. And I just feel like we're going to see like a brawl for the first. Like, as soon as that first round goes off, 1 minute, they're not even going to feel each other out. They're just going to walk into each other's shots. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a backyard. It's not going to be like outside of. It's like one of those fights you see outside of a bar, or one of those street fights we used to watch on YouTube. That's how I see this going down. Yeah.